nothing like embarking with a car you've never driven before on a journey across Route 66. Alright, we made it to Route 66. Journey begins.
I've got a face for camera, what can I say? My name is Dimitri, I'll be helping you guys today. What can I get you started to drink? You're the boss, applesauce, I'll be back.
So we've made it the first, I don't know, 10 miles or so. All smooth, everything's running good. I do want to check with Jim to just see what normal water temperature is on it, but that's it. Overall, so far, success. Yeah, I mean, this is an area where it just runs through like the main street of the city, so maybe not as scenic, but I think we'll get the scenic once we get out of town, so that part's cool. Few random businesses that do celebrate that they're on Route 66, and some kind of just ignore it, but still spend some time getting the feel for the car. I think I've got the bitch slip converter, or whatever the hell they call that thing. I think I got that figured out that I can use it to help idle. We need to stop and buy a screwdriver somewhere so I can just tweak the idle a little bit on this thing. But all in all, so far so good. We're accomplishing our task because everybody's taking pictures, everybody's looking at it, and that's what's cool about cruising an old classic car. Doesn't matter how fast it is, but cruising it on an iconic highway or iconic road. This is such a cool car. Like, I mean, I was around it the most on Death Week, and just seeing it everywhere it went, like, this thing gets style points, more style points than anything can get. I mean, a blower sticking out of the hood. I mean, there's nothing that celebrates America more than a blower sticking out of the hood of a Gasser. I mean, what else can you ask for? So when it became available, it's like a no-brainer. I have to have that car. So, and Jim's done so much like refinement to it to make it nice and tame and easy, and not a super fast car, but it gets all the style points. Driving Route 66, this is what it's about. The interstate's right there, the new interstate, but pretty much 66 right here is following along the interstate. Nice scenic 2-lane road versus the boring old expressway. And I mean, that's what doing something like this is all about.
This is in Moriarty, New Mexico. My name is Archie Lewis. Lewis Antique Auto Museum. Probably got about 4,000 toy trucks and 800 cars outside, about 40 inside. I was born on one block off of Route 66. in San Juan, New Mexico. And I've seen it change from a little narrow road to what it is today. Used to drive a truck on it when I was a kid, 80 years ago. Everything over there's been souped up, all the Model A's. That 39 Ford's all souped up. That 31 Model A's all souped up. T-Bird's all souped up. I used to drag race when I was back in 1955. I used to drag race. I had a hot rod car back in those days. It started out a 402, then boarded out and put nitrous oxide and stuff on it. My grandson took it out because it had been setting. This gas eats them up. He took it out and give a girl a ride in it. She was impressed.
We thought it was a junkyard and it had a little museum inside, but no, everything's a museum. I don't know if all this stuff's for sale. I don't know much about any of this stuff, but like literally it is insane how many old cars are here. We're in New Mexico, so nothing rusts. So I don't know if it was a junkyard that then all of a sudden they just had everything, but like it's not a junkyard. Like there's not doors missing, like almost all these cars and trucks, and I mean everything back here is virtually complete, and so just crazy. So I mean, if the stuff's for sale, if you're looking for that perfect patina of the whole vehicle, this is the place to go. This almost looks like oh no, it's just this looks like the old race rigs that they used to tow the cars to and from, as far as that Dodge cab. But look at it. I mean, just preserved in the desert. Crap, look at it. Well, there's where they put all the engines. I don't know why looks like engines are in the cars, but like I said, it's like they took a load to the junkyard and then they left everything behind because it's all just sitting there.
Ever plan to motor west? Travel my way, take the highway, it's the best. Get your kicks on Route 66. What winds from Chicago down to LA. More than 2,000 miles all the way. Get your kicks on Route 66. Well, you go through St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri.
We haven't seen any landmarks yet on this version. I mean, we're still coming out of the more, I guess, occupied part of town, so maybe once we get out of that area, there'll be a little more of it. But either way, still better than the expressway. Today, so far, we've seen one designation for Route 66. So hoping that, I mean, I think we're in Santa Fe or the suburbs of Santa Fe. I think as we hopefully progress through it, maybe we get to where there starts being something. I mean, there hasn't even been call them the branded businesses talking Route 66. So we're looking for it. We're following the trail that our forefathers, right? You call them forefathers? Forefathers. We're following the trails that our forefather hot rodders not seen signs of the Route 66 light as of yet today. We're in old Santa Fe. Pretty cool, like the style and everything's cool. Cool for like historical value, but no Route 66 feel to it whatsoever. I mean, we are on the oldest route that there was a Route 66 that replaced this route, but I'm just not feeling the Route 66 vibe, just more like a heritage type vibe. So we're gonna jump off the route though, head up to, or jump off of 66, which we don't even know, other than a map telling us we're on old 66. We don't know that we're on old 66 via any signage, but we're gonna jump off, head up to Los Alamos and go check that stuff out, and then come back and join the route again and see if we can find some 66 heritage on this northern route. Yet to be found. One sign. It's 9 a.m. He rocks it at 9 a.m. He got it now. I'm assuming the main gate is like when you were coming up here, this is where everybody had to stop at, and then everything else was the reservation, so to speak. I didn't pay that close of attention watching the movie, so I don't know for sure. Trying to remember the bits and pieces I watched of the movie, but like the lodge, I remember they had the big, and they also had schools. They had, I mean, because they built the whole city here, so it's like just trying to figure out what's what, or like what did they make to look old and what actually is old. All right, there's his house, Roswell's. Oppenheimer. Who's Roswell? Oh, Roswell's the alien city. See, I'm still stuck on this abduction thing. I've been here. Don't need to come back. History is cool, and to see the old buildings that still exist there, really cool. It's way bigger than I thought it would be up here. Thought it'd be kind of more of a tourist area, but I mean, obviously a bunch of people must live up here because there's all kinds of stores and everything. So yeah, the ride up, and I'm sure the ride down is going to be awesome. That'll be the best part of it versus actually being up here, in my opinion. Route 66 has been vindicated. We found a sign. We are on old Route 66. We've been searching for signs of 66. We did hit past a couple signs when we got back onto it again that said it was here. But since we've been on it, we haven't seen anything until we get to this historical marker. So it's vindicated. We're on the right route. So this route was eliminated in 1937. So I doubt that it was paved at that time. It was probably a dirt road traversed by Model Ts and who knows what else back in the day. I mean, horse and buggy might have been running this Route 66. I don't even know what ran the Route 66, like way back before this got eliminated. I'm not sure of all the eliminations, but it does say that 197 miles was cut off when they went from the northern route to the southern Route 66, which is the more common one that we know. So, but it is very cool to be on the original one, basically a road that was eliminated in 1937. And most people forgot about it, but we remember it. We are remembering you, Route 66. We stopped and got a picture with your sign. And well, as long as there's not too many signs, we will stop at every sign to just give you credit where credit's due. That's what the journey's about, is finding some of those areas where, hey, the road just ends. There was nowhere else to go, and you tried, but couldn't succeed. All of a sudden it's not running. Except this time it is the fuel pump. Yeah, that fuse is blown, but when I went to pry it out, I hit it. So I don't know if I blew it or did it pop. Luckily, I mean, it just blew the fuse on the fuel pump. So why? That's always a concern. Will it blow the next one soon thereafter? And then we actually have the fuel pump going. We will see. And I got lucky on which fuse. It's not, obviously Jim built the car, so there's only 4 of them down there, and I got a lucky guess with the first one being the fuel pump. So swapped it out and on we go, at least for a few feet. Well, there's more than just the fuse. So why is it running? Did it just lose? Stalled, fuel pump was still there, reprimed it, and it went. You hear it struggling back there?
I think the pump's just on the way out.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why it blew the fuse. And it lost prime, but I think maybe it cooled down and it ran for a little bit to prime it again, and then now it's like just struggling. So hopefully we got the right tools. Just getting hot and whatever, we let it cool off and that's good to go again. So get up there, but we need like a pan to catch that fuel in when I pull that out, and really to be by a gas station. So hopefully we make it the dang 20 miles, because if I end up dumping all the fuel, then we don't have any fuel. So perfect. Fuel pump on the fritz. Trying to nurse it somewhere. This will probably be where we die. There's that pump. Now I just gotta swap in this pump. A little louder than the last one. So we got the other fuel pump in. Everything seems good to go. We did put a little post out there saying, if anybody's got a fuel pump, we'd like to have a spare. Usually if you have a spare of something, you never need it. Well, we had a spare and we needed it. So thanks, Jim, for providing a spare with the car. But all seems good. We're gonna hit the road, try and get back on track, and we're still hoping Amarillo by sundown. That seems like a song. Or is it Amarillo by sunrise? We want to be there by sundown. We're not doing the night driving. So flatlands, so, and now we're on the interstate again, and pick up 66 here in a couple miles. I'll be happy to get off the interstate. I don't think that the road commission follows up on these roads any longer. kind of height, 1310, so. This was thriving business back in the day. I mean, before the internet and everything was on our phone and we could Google it. Like when you went out west or you went east and you followed Route 66, I mean, billboards were important, or people in the town before were important, telling you what's ahead. And you stayed, there was no chain hotels. Like, I mean, I think the only chain hotel I remember as a young kid was Holiday Inn. And I mean, it wasn't a thriving chain. I just remember that was the name brand hotel. Everything else had a name to it. I'm sure so many of these were just called Route 66 Hotel, and it'd be which one? The one in here, and they were not connected in any way. They just had the same name. But abandoned here, and like, obviously, I mean, it's been ransacked since then, or I mean, I don't know if the fire's what closed it, but like, we've seen one car. We've been here for maybe 10 minutes. One car's gone by. So, I mean, the road is just, I mean, the expressway killed the road. So it killed all these businesses along here. And one thing we've noticed too is like that when they built the expressway, there's like like if there's in a town and they're abandoned just like this, they put an entrance and an exit off to maybe say that town will live. Well, it didn't live. I mean, every one of them are abandoned. I mean, that's, well, I won't say every one. 1 in 20 actually still have businesses that are active if they're real close to I-40 and can be seen from I-40. But this you can't see from I-40. You have to get off onto 66 and follow this. So, I mean, basically no chance. All right, hope you're enjoying our trip down Route 66 and the journey we took. Now in October, you have Sick 66 coming to 6 drag strips along Route 66 that follow our journey. But in the meantime, go grab some merch. You got the 666 stickers, small, big. There's even tin signs over on the website and our event shirt for 666. Go grab one of these off the website. Help support the cause. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of the video. So we just checked the forecast. We got tornadoes and F4s, and everybody's sending us text messages and pictures saying that Tulsa area gonna be bad. So we don't know how far we'll make it today. Our goal was Tulsa, but we may end up cutting a little short and
stop and hang out or whatever, because we're gonna have to drive in the rain and the tornadoes. So ready for a day.
Literally nothing. Windmills and farm every once in a while, but it's still can't explain the feeling. If you were doing this in a 2020 car, it wouldn't be the same feeling that we have right now. That no air conditioning, windows open, and cruising along, listening to a little hint of whine of the supercharger and Luke. Just kidding, Luke's not whining at all. But the video doesn't do it justice. You got to do this for yourself. Here's what's amazing. You're cruising Route 66, and there's little pull-offs. You kind of have the place to yourself. Like, just take yourself a break and have some water and think about the road you've already traveled. Contemplate the road ahead. That's philosophy. Like, that's pretty cool. But we feel like we're so far removed from civilization, but right now Route 66 is just a stone throw away from I-40. But yet we're on a slow pace, meandering along. Those people are fast-paced on a journey to nowhere. At least we're on a journey to somewhere. Route 66. You gotta do it.
That's fucking deep.
We are at the first Phillips 66 station in the state of Texas. So, little tiny buildings back then, but this one's restored, all the pumps are restored, so super cool. And once again, it's off the beaten path, like you're running Route 66 and just cool stuff. But it's crazy because, like, you got 2 lanes on both sides, it's one way on each side or whatever, but like one car and one motorcycle has gone by in the entire time that we've been here, and we've been here for 15 minutes. Like, you just walk in the street, like there's nothing happening.
The highway went around us in '84, and that took quite a toll on the town. If you could see it before, you can see all the abandoned stations that the independent operators had. And they just went out, and we've lost everything. We don't even have a grocery store or a drugstore. We got 2 convenience stores, Whoopi, and they passed the law finally. All the elderly passed away, and they have liquor here now, so but that's the only improvement, if you call it an improvement.
Lady at the counter that we had, awesome. She's got a Challenger with a Hemi in it. How can you go wrong?
When I got my Challenger, it's got a Hemi in it, and I just loved it, but I thought, well, what about the gas mileage? What's it gonna be? And it don't use that much. It really blows me away that it doesn't with the Hemi engine, and it's a V8, so. But I like it because it gets me away from weirdos.
There you go.
If somebody's following me, yeah, I just got to punch it. And
There you have it. Horsepower solves problems.
Exactly.
It
Like the best thing about it, what is the best thing about your car?
the horsepower.
Because it's got a Hemi in it.
Yes, and when you got the cruise control on, well, you got to slow down in certain places, and when you put it to resume, man, it'll just
Takes off like a rocket ship.
Yeah, it does. It's like, well, are you going to slow down or what?
And there you have it. What else is there to
Yes.
say? Route 66, you have to have horsepower.
It's not too bad through that bar ditch if you want. It's pretty hard.
Sir, you can't park there.
Well, a pretty nice car.
Thanks. All right. Well, it's jacked
Well,
up,
have
so
a
we
good
should be
day.
able to make it. Hell of a spot to put your house. Yeah, this section almost looks like an abandoned airstrip. I mean, just grass rolling over both sides of it. I mean, this side is, well, I don't know which side's the new side, but going by the story, they said that it got divided in certain areas. I mean, this side's paved, that side's concrete. Just isolated.
Man, they're getting their kicks on Route 66. Guys, I'm going to give a little bit of it to you my way.
Oh, if you
Ever plan to motor west? Travel my way, take the highway, it's the best. Get your kicks on Route 66. What winds from Chicago down to LA. More than 2,000 miles all the way. Get your kicks on Route 66. Well, you go through St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, and Oklahoma City. She's mighty pretty, you'll see. Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona, don't forget Winona, Kingman, Barstow, San Bernardino. Won't you get hip to this timely trip when you make that California trip? Get your kicks on Route 66. Get your kicks on Route 66. Get your kicks on Route 66. Just for the two dudes in the redneck capital of the world, getting their bumps, kicks, drives, trick sticks, and big tricks on 66. Yeehaw!
Freaking epic, dude.
You say what? Are you doing Route 66?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm going to show you the first Route 66 sign posted in the state of Oklahoma here in a few minutes. Since I might have to get close to you, I need to freshen my breath just a little bit. You know, Have a chaser. And what did I say I was going to do? Well, I don't actually live on Route 66, and I'm not one of the Route 66 enthusiasts and advocates either. I'm not nothing. I live in the redneck castle / sanitarium behind my building over here. No, I don't live on Route 66, but I was born on Route 66. Over here, a couple of blocks over this way. And the hospital's not there anymore. Yeah. But I'm just a guy that's here. I'm not into anything really. I've probably got a better life than anybody that you'll ever meet. Yeah. I've got a lot of haters just for that.
What? They hate you for having a great life?
Yeah. They, people don't like to see they can't stand to see an independent individual that can actually think for himself without having somebody to do it and pay him to do it, type of guy. No. And so that goes with the territory of being an individual such as myself. This is the first picture taken of me and Annabelle right here, this black and white, when we started here at the shop in 1986. Yeah.
So 1980, because I-40 opened in 1984. Is that correct? Or
Hell no, that's not correct.
no?
84. How about somewhere back around 1965?
For I-40?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you been listening to some of the Route 66 authorities?
Was it the barbed wire
was it the
museum.
girl at the barbed wire museum?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not a Route 66 historian or anything even close to it.
Yeah, but you've been here your whole life, so that's about as historical
I
as you
beg
can
your
get.
pardon?
You've been here most of your life, haven't you?
You first said my whole life.
Oh, okay.
You need to not make so many snap assumptions.
I apologize.
And maybe you should have let this man interview me like you brought it up in the first place.
Got it. It's on the loop.
Yeah, I tell you for sure. Hey, what do you like? How you like the way I did that?
I like
We've waited to do the wrap up in the car because we were worried for a second as to whether or not we could get out of there. We tried for the door a few times, got stopped each time with another song, tidbit, or something else. But we did slip out of there. I do think it might have been after closing time and the door was still unlocked, because when I went in, definitely there was the smell of fragrance in the air. I think it was his wind down period in do not interrupt a 78-year-old man during wind down period. We did. Or maybe it's the same experience everybody gets. I can tell you it's intense. The video probably doesn't show you the intensity of being there. Proceed with caution. It's a pretty epic stop. If you make it out alive, it's real epic. Now we gotta go. I think he's coming, Luke. Route 66. We have made it to Clinton, and it's starting to rain. We were going as close to Oklahoma City as we could. We were going to go a little bit further, and then we said, Clinton's far enough. So we're in Clinton. This is where we'll be for the night, but another route, US 66 Museum. Closed because it's late, but looks like a cool spot. We will probably check it out in the morning. We'll see what time they open, but check that out, and then we got to continue our journey on. Hopefully the rain passes tonight, and we motor. But still an epic day. Crazy cool stuff that like you just have to see to believe. And I mean, we're only showing you a part of it. Like there's so much more to it when you're just driving along and all the abandoned stuff. It's like it's one of those things where it's an overload of pretty and cool that like we don't want to show you too much pretty and cool. We got to leave some for you to discover for yourself when you run the route. So we're gonna get out of the rain, grab something to eat, and get a hotel. So we will check you tomorrow. The original Route 66. This part, because they talk about the old concrete, but this is definitely wavy and a lot more bumpy. Not much to see on this part of it. We're running next to the highway. Should take us into Weatherford and trying to make it work our way towards Oklahoma City. We hit a little gravel patch of it back a little ways, so got through that and then put us on this. And this one definitely looks like this stretch doesn't get traveled hardly at all. We have to get that back on the expressway, but as we're starting to make the turn, it's like there's a roadside park here, like with the old canopies, and you can see all this stuff's very dated. Like it's just, I feel like I've seen pictures, like old pictures, where the cars, even though this is grassy area and that's paved, I feel like the cars would pull up here with their family and their station wagon, and then they'd have a picnic on these tables here, and then they'd get back on Route 66 and continue on. It's like, this is probably one of the cooler spots I've seen because, like I said, I feel like I've seen old pictures of this with cars just having picnics, and this makes you think of station wagons that had the back seats facing each other, and you got 9 people in the back in this whole station wagon, this whole family, and they're just cruising along, and then they come and they pick out their, man, what were those the old coolers, the metal coolers? Were those Coleman's, or was that before Coleman's? Like
Probably
those
Coleman's, yeah.
Okay, but they got that metal cooler out. Like we had one when I was a kid, and mom's making sandwiches or peanut butter and jellies, or maybe they were already made, and that was it. There was no, you were following your AAA guide map too, like if you got your map from AAA, so that's the only way you knew where you were. And I remember those too because like it was highlighted. So you'd flip the page and then you're on to the next section. And obviously I'm dating myself, but when I was young, like the first couple road trips I did, you went to AAA and got that because I can't describe enough how without a phone and the internet at your hands, how different life was. And you were dependent on road signs and stuff that you saw, or the AAA guide map. Like, that's all you had to go on. I feel like we have to be heading into a storm. Radar says it's not raining. We have the advantage of modern technology and we can pull up a radar. It says it's not raining. However, we are getting droplets on the windshield. So it might just be 100% humidity, but it's not really raining. And the sky is black and dark. The winds have picked up again. If I see a flying cow, then I'm going to say we truly are in something. No flying cows as of yet. And the road is marginal at best. But what I will say is this construction is probably at least 70 years old. And I don't even know how much they used concrete back then, but for this road to be basically a solid concrete road, big advantage for anybody that lives off of it now is nobody travels on it, but you do have a nice concrete road that is probably not going to get potholes and stuff in it. Maybe a little wavy, which is the part we're experiencing of it, but it's better than driving down a pothole-ridden road. So, hoping the storm keeps moving north, but it looks storm that way, storm that way. Portion of Route 66 we just covered. Nice through Edmond. Like they had a cool little downtown area, and then we rolled through there, like really thriving area through there, and rolled through there. We hit Pops that has every different flavor of pop you want. Chicken Shack here, we just had lunch here. This is a great stop right on the way outside Edmond, and rolling our way that way. Smooth road here. I think this might be one of the later roads to get taken away. Actually, I think we're in a small area because we're 2-lane now, but we came 4-lane just coming out of Edmond, and everything was all 4-lane and wide. So we're back to that 2-lane. Not sure what that stretch is going to be and what we have that we'll come across next, but smooth sailing and definitely a lively area as we're running through this part of Route 66. think it's a bowling alley. Cool signs. Pretty awesome spot. It's at least called the Bowl. Maybe it's a pot joint. I don't know.
Good morning, Route 66. Starting our journey off, we're not but 5 minutes, 10 minutes from the hotel where we stayed at. And this was Luke's one thing he wanted to make sure we stopped at on this trip. The entire part of Route 66, Luke wanted to make sure we stopped at the Blue Whale. So we're at the Blue Whale. Pretty massive construction project when you look at the inside of it. But it's got slides and ladders, and there used to be an upstairs, but that somewhere got taken away because it's boarded, the ladder's boarded off, so you can't go up there. I don't know if there's any gators or anything in the water, so it's swim at your own risk. For all we know, it could just be big catfish down there that mess with you while you're swimming. But definitely cool. As I mean, literally right outside of Tulsa as we get the road going, and we're on a nice smooth road. Obviously, this is not the original road because this is wide, and as you can probably hear the traffic, this is a well-traveled portion of Route 66. So we're going to keep moving on, and we are heading east. Same way we've been going all along. We're heading east. So we are running through a big section, and when you look at the expressway, like 66 does divert from the expressways for quite a while today on the journey that we're on and how we're going through the towns. And working our way through, but Mocan, this is a 3-state day. Most of our travel days have just been single state travel days for the most part, maybe 2. We've never had 3 in a day. And yeah, God willing, we're going to do 3 states today.
We have to.
It starts to wear on you, I guess, a little, just how long it is. I mean, we've been on Route 66 and running this route. We started Albuquerque, so we are on the tail end of Oklahoma. I don't even know how much Oklahoma we have left, and then we'll hit Kansas and then Missouri. And I mean, you see all the attraction, you see the different stuff on the side of the road, and initially you start out and you're like, oh, I'm going to stop at every single one, and then you stop at them, and then as the journey goes on, then you're like, oh, that's cool. Should we turn around and go back to it? Nah. And then there'll be another one come up ahead, and then it's amazing the whole journey, but it's crazy how you're still excited, but your excitement level is a little less than when you started. But then you get to the point to where, I mean, we are probably in our home stretch of the part that we are doing today when we get into Missouri and our final stop on it, and you're starting to get call it the anxiousness, like, let's get this done. Like, I got to check this off, and it's weird. We had like not necessarily a great plan or a solid plan, but we did have mentally like, oh, we're going to make it this far today. And yesterday with the rain coming in, we ended up doing 200 miles, which I don't know how we only did 200 miles. I mean, we left at 7 in the morning, like our usual deal. We stopped at 5:30, and then when we looked at it last night at dinner, it's like, we only went 200 miles today. Like, so we officially put ourselves one day behind our mental part of where we thought we were. But the thing is, there's no time. As long as you leave ample time for the journey, and then you just make sure that, hey, whatever, this is not normal life. Like, everything doesn't go according to plan, and there is no schedule. You're just keeping on. So
cool spot.
Another cool spot.
Another cool spot.
Just can't help but stop.
This was a turnaround cool spot. Like, wasn't a as the week goes on, like I said before, like it kind of like, that's kind of cool. But then you get the really cool, and that's a turnaround cool spot. Like, we got to come back to it and just check it out. So this is a turnaround cool spot.
You ain't got a pilot car following you or anything?
No, it's just
Boy,
us.
I tell you what, y'all brave. I used to have a 65 Chevy, and I'd just take off in the damn thing, go to Florida or somewhere. People say, you crazy, what if that breaks down? It did break down a couple times. Harmonic bouncer flew off of it one time. Hell, I just stopped at it, because if it's Chevrolet, you can find parts for them at junkyards, I mean, and cheap too. Is that a 396? 427.
Yep, 427.
Yeah. I seen you way up there, and I said, they look like a hot rod coming. I said, they look like Route 66ers.
All right, show us what else we got.
A guy gave me this here. It was in his backyard, and it was missing a door, a fender, and a hood. So I put it together and made a no-door convertible out of it. Somebody brought a chainsaw the other day, and they was standing right there and handed it to me and said, where you going to put it? And I just set it there. 10-foot dog that barks. Oh, it peed all over himself. This is the Australian Ute here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And the nitrous is hooked up and works too. What do you think about the kangaroo and the baby kangaroo? And they jumped all over me, and I said, what do you mean? He said, that ain't a baby kangaroo. And I said, well, it looks like it. And he said, that's a Joey. Yard art motorcycle. Guy stopped here and seen my John Deere car, and he says, I got a John Deere boat. I said, well, I'd like to see that. And he said, come get it. You can have it. You got the most for your money on this one. It was all the same price, but they had some that was just a regular pirate. Even had a woman pirate. The haunted house car there, the grave robber, it was at a haunted house. A guy had borrowed $50,000 from the bank and bought an old building downtown Fayetteville, Arkansas. The windows were busted out of it and everything.
He's not much of a listener, but he's a talker.
His first night, he opened 2 weeks before Halloween. His first night, he had over 600 visitors, kids, most kids and college kids. Fayetteville's got a big college in it. This is the furthest I've had so far, a mountain climber from Kathmandu, Nepal. I can't even pronounce his name there. He said it's easy. He said you can come down twice as fast, or 3 times faster you can go up, Let me go get my sign. You get a picture of me holding my sign.
Cool.
This is why we sometimes only make it 200 miles in a day. Today we might only make it 25 miles the way it's going.
Here we go. Let's get together here, yeah. Yeah, they got curls in theirs and everything else.
Perfect.
Sounds good.
Thank you. So, we had an experience where we didn't know if we were going to make it out alive. That one we just didn't know if we were going to make it out. Super nice guy. Awesome guy to talk to. Oh, and he just keeps talking. He likes people. And that's a perfect person for something like this.
Here's an original section of Route 66. This is different than the stuff that we've seen in the other places that we've thought was original, but I mean, it's definitely narrow, but you've got concrete, then this is pavement, and then concrete on this side. So it's, I mean, they said 9 foot wide, so I mean, that's car is probably a little over 7 foot, or roughly 7 foot, so you got a foot on each side, so a 9-foot road. So where the old cars weren't 4 foot wide, I don't know how 2 cars traversed down this road going opposite directions. The world may never know. Hey, it's worth seeing, because if you think the other stuff's real and then you get to this and maybe this is real, we just don't know what's real anymore. But we're on our way.
My name is Aaron Perry, and you are at Gearhead Curios in Galena, Kansas on Route 66. And something I don't know if you mentioned, but we believe we have the most photographed restroom. The license plates hanging on the ceiling are all gifts. And it's so many dedications to lost loved ones and so many stories up there it blows your mind. It truly does. I have a dollar wall that was never intended, and now I have dedications to lost loved ones on the dollar wall too. So yeah, it's been beyond anything I could ever imagine. It's time travel. You're on a 2-lane road, the mom and pop cafes, the diners, other than corporate gas stations. You're going back in time to how it used to be. There was no getting on your phone, getting a reservation. You pulled into a town and your dad would be like, all right, watch for a vacancy sign. And you're looking at pool, this one's got a pool, this one's, color TV, a swimming pool. That was the draws with a neon sign. It was so cool.
Have enjoyed the journey so far on Route 66. We're in Mocan at Mocan Dragway, Joplin, Missouri. So we actually shot north about 20 miles off of Route 66 to come visit this dragway, which I guess takes you to our ulterior motive. We are running Route 66, and we actually have an event in October called 666 that we're a bunch of drag racers too. So we love the old cars, we love the cruising, and we also love drag racing. So we actually are going to start at Ozark, which we'll show you in a little bit, that dragway, but Ozark, and then make our way west all the way to Albuquerque, New Mexico. We're hitting 6 drag strips along the way. We're racing in the morning at a drag strip, and then we're continuing on the route. We do have a whole thing called the Sick Ward that follows along, and they're on the journey with us, and they do everything but go down the drag strip. So if you're interested in doing Route 66 with a nice big group of people, like-minded people that are gearheads, motorheads, and love history, then you might consider joining, because it gives you entertainment breaks while you're along the route. And as you've seen me in some of the videos, it's like, oh, another stop, another cool thing to see. So it gives you that break in the day where you can have some good food, watch some drag racing, and then you know what, get right back on Route 66, because that's exactly what we're going to do from here. We're going to work our way back down to Route 66, continue across to Ozark Raceway, and that's where we'll actually end our Route 66 journey. So I hope you enjoyed the whole thing. In October of this year, details at sickthemag.com, and maybe you'll join us in the Sick Ward. You can do that in a new car, you can do that in a rental, or you can do it in a classic old car like the 62 Nova that we've been running. Choice is yours. But it's going to be a great group of people, and if you like doing things in groups, and running with a bunch of people at the same time, then hey, that'd be the time to do it, because I'm going to tell you, to give an old word, it's going to be a hoot. It's I feel like my grandma would say that, but going to be a hoot. But it will be a riot. And when you hang out with these guys, it's just cool. And the other thing, if you choose to take something old like this, the best thing about it is literally when we do these events, if somebody is stopped on the side of the road, you have to give a thumbs up, because if not, you're going to have about 25, 30 cars lined up behind you on the side of the road, seeing if they can help you. So if you've ever thought about taking that experience with your old car, but you're afraid of its reliability, then, I mean, this would be the best time to do it, because I'm telling you, everybody stops, everybody helps everybody, and it doesn't matter whether you have a fast car or a slow car. If you have a cool car, everybody is there to help you, and everything's a cool car except your rental. They're not going to pull over on the side of the road behind your rental, because you can just call AAA or the rental company and say, bring me a new car. So consider bringing a cool car and having a great time with us, and I mean, dust the cobwebs off that thing, and forget the little car show that you go to on Tuesdays. Like, let's take it on a real car show, a rolling car show, 1,000+ miles across Route 66, cross everything off your bucket list for Route 66, and just have a great time. And if you don't want to do it with us, hey, do it on your own. Hopefully you got information out of the video of cool stuff to stop and see, and then you go see that stuff. Hey, we're good. Thanks, guys. You can listen to nature where we're at. Literally birds tweeting, bugs flying. I thought for a while as we were coming down that like it was going to end anticlimactic, that we were just going to be on a paved version of Route 66, kind of boring straight road. But there was a turnoff that takes us through an old section of it. And this section, Spencer, Missouri, was bought by a guy. He did what? 55 miles this guy walked to buy this town for $500 in like what year? In 1926. So, and then he built his own town. You got a general store, a barber shop, a cafe, a garage, and a gas station. So that's how Route 6 was, or Route 66 was like developed, as like one little town at a time. That as everything grew and everybody started going the east and west route, it just all built up. And this is a cool section of it with concrete narrow roads, similar to what we saw in Missouri and the other parts of Missouri, that just hasn't been turned into a mainstream highway, which is good and bad. It's good because the historical value and everything's here. It's bad because I hear the birds tweeting and the bugs are playing and all that crap's going on, but there's no other people. We're at, like, there's no car noise, there's nothing. We're just here looking at this historical town. So for the survival of places like this, it really is dependent on people like us to take the journey down Route 66 and explore these places. And the more that we're exploring the places that maybe are abandoned towns and there's nothing going on and you don't even know who owns it, like we said earlier in the week, the more that people will probably buy it or figure out how to take care of it and fix it up into a Route 66 memorial. I mean, this is our heritage. I mean, this was the first east and west road that was all interconnected from Chicago all the way to LA. So, I mean, there's a lot of historical value with this. I mean, I'm fortunate that in Michigan, where I live, we have the first paved road, Woodward Avenue. It's also where the first street races took place, is Woodward Avenue, because it was the first paved road. But this is another milestone that, I mean, Woodward Avenue is, I don't know, 30 miles long. This is, I don't even know how long all of 66 is. So it's almost 2,000 miles of road that's all interconnected, and it's just cool. And we need to get out there, explore it, and stop at places like this and look up their website, spencerstation.com, and learn more about it. So, because it just said this was restored in 2022. So it just shows that resurgence of interest in our past. And the others, life is so fast. Like,
what is that? Oh, the Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop every once in a while, it'll pass you by. I know I got the quote wrong, but you get the concept. And that's what's cool, is to take a journey like this and time almost stands still and you kind of remember your forefathers that traveled this road. And I don't think I even said this in earlier parts, but like literally most of these towns were probably like, this guy walked 55 miles here. How did he even know it was for sale? Like, or did he just keep walking until there was something for sale he could buy and have his own town? I don't know. But so many of the other towns along Route 66, like there's a country song or something like that, that it's where the car broke down. Like literally they went and the car broke down, and next thing you know, there was a town being built up because that's where they made it to, and then they had to make a life for themselves there. And I would bet that there's a lot of those towns that were created just by that. They couldn't make it any further. They ran out of gas, ran out of money, car broke, who knows what happened, but then they never left. And you got that town on Route 66 that you're like, why would anybody pick here? Well, they didn't pick it, it picked them. Yeah, now we got to continue our journey. It's almost over. Springfield, Missouri claims to be the birthplace of Route 66. I don't know if it is or it isn't. I'll take their word for it, and it is. So we appreciate everybody following along in our journey where we started in Albuquerque and worked our way all the way to here. We're getting ready to shoot down to Ozark drag strip, wrap up our trip, but this is pretty much the wrap of our journey on Route 66. Hope you enjoyed all the stuff. Hope you enjoyed all the stops we made. We appreciate everybody with the thumbs up, looking at the car. There's a girl over there taking pictures of the car right now. And it is just an epic journey that you need to experience in some way, shape, or form in your lifetime. I hope that this video has inspired you to get out there and do it. And maybe you'll come do it with us in October. So the Nova should be here doing it again. I won't be driving the Nova. I'll have something else, and I don't even know what I'll have, and we're going to get ran over. But we hope, like I said, that we've inspired you to come do the journey either with us or on your own and at your leisure, or do smaller sections of it from time to time, whichever way you want to do it. Obviously, we have from here to Chicago that we haven't done, and we have from Albuquerque to LA that we haven't done. I've seen different parts of it on different journeys, but never as in depth as like we did this, where we've basically every piece that we could do, we've chose to do. There's very small pieces that we did not pick up because we jumped off the route for one reason or another. So, man, I'm telling you, like, if you want to get back to feeling good about the world, come do Route 66, because you'll forget about all the crazy crap that's on the news and everything else going on, and you'll just enjoy yourself, bring yourself to a simpler time in life before technology like this video that you're watching, and just get out there and do it. Thanks for watching, guys.